When you expose the truth of the so-called white man, hold on, excuse me. When you expose the truth of the so-called white man, you're hated. You're definitely hated. Hmm. When you expose the truth, the real deal of the so-called white man, you're hated. You know what I'm saying? You're definitely hated. Um, when you look in, I think it's First Chronicles, Second Chronicles. I think it's First Chronicles too, where um, before our people went into captivity, and you look in Luke, no, not Luke, but you look in the book of Ezra, chapter 2, verses 1 all the way through 59. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me do this right quick. Hold on. Let's see. Let's do this. Okay, the reason I had to turn it off because of the music. But when you when you look at our people, when you look at the book of Nehemiah and you look at the book of Ezra, you see a certain group of people went into captivity under Nebuchadnezzar. And that was the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and those are the Hebrew people that was enslaved to the religious scholars, the so-called white religious scholars. They was enslaved to Nebuchadnezzar. You see what I'm saying? And they served the king of Babylon for a long, like 70 years in one part. And you will see how our people kept going into slavery, and our people served these other nations because we didn't want to we didn't want to come back to our God. You know what I'm saying? And that's a curse for you to say that the Hebrew brothers, that's a curse within itself to say that, oh, they don't know how to talk to people, they not in the right spirit. That's a not knowing that you spewing out nothing but curses because you're so caught up into, oh, they not putting it out there, they don't know how to do it. You got to be in the right spirit until you're not really looking at the logic. You can't look at the logic in there and see that the lies, you see what I'm saying? That's what you need to recognize. If you can't recognize the lies in it, then how are you a child of God? Because a child of the Most High, if you're a child of the Most High, and you're going to recognize the lies that was perpetrated in there in the first place. You see what I'm saying? You got that. Like me, that's why I don't deal with a lot of people. I don't associate myself with a bunch of people. I just don't. You see what I'm saying? And I can sense and pick up the enemy hatred. They hate you when you got a mindset. You can see, you can actually look, and you can see when you read the Bible and you actually read it right, and you see through 'em or whatever, they gonna hate you. Yeah. Sometimes some of your own family members gonna turn on you. Sometime I'm just giving you the real deal. Do I love them? Yeah, absolutely I do. I love my family members. I love my people. But I'm letting them know I love them enough is to come out here and wake their ass up. I mean, wake them up and tell them the truth and say, hey, look, this white man, you're being deceived by your oppressor. And now you got to look at this God as your enemy. You got to look at this white God, this white oppressor, and you got to look at this God as your enemy. This enemy as your God. That's what you got to look at. You know? So you got to wake up. Our people got to wake up and come out their slumber, wake up and come out their sleep, because we're being deceived, believing that Esau is your friend. Esau is not your friend. If the so-called white man was your friend, why is it that our people, so-called blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans, are in the hood suffering? Our people still, we still struggling. We still got problems and this and that. But they living in, you go in their hood, you don't see all this drama stuff over there, dramatized stuff. You don't see all that, and they living good. They kids and so-called white Edomite chaps living good. They ain't got to wake up to what we wake up to every day, because when they wake up, they know their forefathers and ancestors still, they ancestors and passed them down an inheritance to sit here and be rich and get rich off of us and live off of us while we come to their stores. Everything is all about money now. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. People nowadays, man, some people ain't out to do nothing but get what they want out of you. But they ain't gonna. Have y'all ever been around? And I know these are all the curses. You go around certain people, and like you, it's like you so willing to help them, and you ain't got nothing. You ain't rich and stuff, and things of that nature. They want you, and this is the enemy. This is the seed of the enemy. That the enemy, the so-called white man, that sold on our people, is to be like this, and they believe that we should be envious toward each other like this, because as long as we continue to be envious toward our people like this, the so-called white man is very comfortable with what they're doing. They're very comfortable with that. They literally sit back and watch us destroy each other. Say we ain't got to do them nothing. All we got to do is sit back here and watch their people destroy their people. Yeah, we're in a community that where we don't give a damn about because we've been trained and conditioned by the so-called white man instead of not each other. The white man is your natural enemy, and you can't even see that he's using our own people is to destroy each other. That's what they do. Yeah. Yeah, they using our own people is to destroy us, you know. And our people been conditioned this way, but they wake up. They ain't got to wake up to that. They had a so-called white man try to come in my live a while back and say, "Oh, I'm a so-called white male, and I go through a lot." Man, get up out of it. You can't relate to Deuteronomy chapter 28. They can't relate to that. He can't look at that and you tell him about your struggles and different this and that and the third. You paying high rent and all that kind of stuff, and you don't have money to wake up and do other stuff that you need and stuff. He can't look at that like, oh, that makes sense, man. That's talking about my people. No, because his people did not go through what our people went through. Our forefathers and foremothers. His people didn't face that. Yeah, his people ain't never had to go through that. Hmm. But people hate you. What's that scripture in Galatians 4:16? I'm therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth. He's letting you know, the Apostle Paul is letting you know that when you speak the truth and when you stand out, you're going to be hated for it. What the Bible says in Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34, it says, uh, a man's foe will be those of his own household. He said, daughter against mother, father-in-law against the son-in-law, and son-in-law against the father-in-law, and mother against daughter, and father against son. That's right there in Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34 through 35 and 36. That's where you can go find that at. That's in the New Testament, bro. And he's letting you know that that's a prophecy. And you look around right now, you what do you see in our home? Those things are curses, man. Yeah, it's just to let you know, man. We are that it lets you know the Bible's true. But our people don't want that. They want the kingdom of this world. Even though it's a lot of things I want, of course. But at the end of the day, man, I'm glad I'm on here advocating for my people and advocating the truth and woke up to a certain an extent. You see what I'm saying? I'm glad I am. Yeah. Hold on, let me turn this off. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's something out here, man. Yeah, man. I peep. Yeah, it's crazy out here though, man. It's evil out here, man. You in we're in an evil society, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's why I say we gotta purge ourselves from. You gotta watch the company that we keep, man. Hmm. People don't want to be woke up out their sleep. So some of them don't. Some of them want to stay ignorant and blind and dumb as hell. It ain't no shade, but to them, but it is. I was talking with a some elderly woman a couple of days. You know, I spend them all the time, and it's just amazing how they grew up actually working in the field and went through a lot, and they grew up and they take up for the very evil entity that actually put them in the condition that they're in. That's why I never understand that. How can you grow up in in under a condition where you was mistreated, or you went through the curses, or you underwent some things, and you had a father, but it's just like you didn't have one. Worked in the field, you had to. They had the elderly woman told me they had to milk like cows before they went to school and all that, and then they had to do it when they got home, and then they had to get in there and do their homework. And by the time they did all of that, it was time to go to bed because you had to wake up in the morning before you went to. She said they literally had to wake up in the morning before they went to school or whatever, and go out into the field or go out there and milk cows or something like that. They used to say, you know, and that's how come I find myself having a hard time fathom and just just totally just overwhelmed with and just shocked at some of the stuff that you see come out their mouth. You taking up for your enemy. How can you take up for your enemy, and you actually been in that situation? You actually lived through the part to where you worked in the field and you did all those things, but you come right up and take up for the white man and take up for Christmas and get mad when people point it out. And you worked in that was so overblowing minded to me. Like, that's what I don't understand. How can I have a hard time trying to actually fathom that when it's simple? It's right there. You know, like, hmm. And this is no shade. I'm just saying. Like, I never understand that. Like, what type of person? That's just like me. If I've been through something, take that bill. I'm gonna use the same example I use in my on my blog and on Instagram. Let's say if a fire, just play all this called a fire. It caught a fire, and the fire just I got caught up in it, and I ran, and I actually survived it. Then somebody years later, they said, "Man, I remember when you was right there up under the thing, and you almost got burned up under the thing." And I'm turning around, I'm getting mad with them for bringing back saying something, an incident that I was in, and I'm getting mad. I'm justifying that due to the fact, even though I went through it, and they pointed out that it's true that I went through it, but I'm getting mad with them for pointing it out, for saying it's true. This is the same way our people do when it comes to slavery. They have been through it. Some of them even worked in the cotton field, worked in those fields, and did all those things. And we are still going through the same thing in modern day slavery. And they get mad over it. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, I never understand that. I don't understand that logic. That's very delusional and illogical, and that's wicked as hell. Is to not uh, acknowledge that you've been through certain things, and you want to turn around and try to make excuses for your enemy that created the white man, the so-called white man that created these problems. You see what I'm saying? You making excuses for your very enemy that put you in them conditions. You see what I'm saying? You making excuses for the very enemy that put you in that position. You see what I'm saying? And then when you point it out, then people get mad with me because I don't take no shit off of them, or I don't take no shit, or I don't choose not to be dummy down to that bullshit. You see what I'm saying? All that talking about, oh, I don't celebrate no goddamn Christmas turkey fucking or whatever the fuck you want to call that shit. And I'm saying to myself, I'm saying that they know I don't celebrate that. Everybody knows that I don't celebrate that shit. You know, like brain, like they know goddamn well, like they know motherfucking well I don't celebrate no shit like that. You know, but getting mad, like I said earlier, getting mad with those people for pointing out that I almost got burnt up. I'm just using that as an example. And it's the same way our people do when it comes to slavery. You got burned and been enslaved, but you turn around and still get mad and take up for the white man and take up for this Christian, this wicked ass Christianity that people that exalt. You know what I'm saying? You get mad and take up for this wicked ass Christianity that this white man then put out, but you still get mad when somebody point that shit out. This is what I'm having a hard time trying to fathom. How can you get mad when you know a person is your enemy, enslaving you, took your nationality, put you in a certain ghetto in a certain part of the location of the neighborhood, you live in poor, and you got to pay 6, 7, 900,000 damn dollars just for rent, and you got to, by the time you do that, you ain't got no money to go and actually buy food in your house, or either they just load you up with a bunch of damn food stamps, food cards and stuff. Then you got a fucked up, jacked up ass car that you can't even get that motherfucker on the road or whatever. You see what I'm saying? And then a lot of people look at you like you're complaining and you're doing this and that and the third and stuff. Now I say what it sounds like is that you're used to slavery, and it sounds like you want to continue. You're comfortable with what you're saying. You're okay with being enslaved by your enemy. You know? Yeah. When you talk like this, a lot of people don't want that. They don't want the real truth behind it. Why in the fuck would I get mad if this damn roof is burning and I jump them up under, and then you see me 8 years later, and I say, hey, man, you remember when you got burnt up under this building? I'm just reiterating because I want our people to get this in. And I want y'all to fathom this in y'all head and get what I'm saying. And then I get mad with you that you pointed it out that I went through the shit and I almost got burned up under a building or whatever. That's crazy. That's the same resembling thing when it comes to slavery. When you point out that the shit that our people been through, like George Floyd being shot in the street and all that kind of stuff, and then our people get mad with us, they more mad at us and be more envious us more and be more enemy to us than the people that's actually shooting our people down in the streets, because the so-called white man then turn around took and then brainwashed their ass and gave them a fake ass religion, gave them a Christmas. You know what Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's is? I'm gonna tell you what that shit is. That's all that shit ain't nothing but the thing that they gave the slaves off. That's something for like signifying like we gonna give you slaves a break by giving y'all this wicked pagan ass holiday. We gonna give you slaves a break. Easter and what's the other one? Halloween. We gonna give y'all Negroes and niggers a time where y'all can just come and eat turkey and jerk. We gonna give y'all some time off of this here. Yeah. Y'all gonna be resting from y'all slave labor as slaves. That's what it is. And if you can't get that, then I don't know what the fuck to say. I don't know what the fuck to say. Something ain't right if you don't get that. I'm not just literally sitting up here and just making shit up. Shit is real out here. Yeah. Because that's what I have a hard time finding. Like, how can you not want to hear nothing about what your people went through? Like, you know this. But I guess it's prophecy though. I guess it understand that it's like it was prophesied in the Bible that our people will 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed and 1/3 shall remain. And I guess that's Bible prophecy. Uh, a lot of our people ain't gonna get it. You know, they just gonna see it and they not gonna get it. Period. So what I'm gonna do, man? I'm gonna come home and what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do another video on the origin and show y'all people say that 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 people say that Jesus is the reason for the season, right? No, Nimrod and Tammuz is the reason for these wicked ass holidays. You see what I'm saying? Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving. I don't call it no Thanksgiving. I call it Thanksgiving. The so-called white man and all those people that create, they are the reason for this evil, not Jesus. They putting Christ in it. Yeah, you can't be putting Christ in nothing like that. Yeah, yeah. Talking about Jesus is the reason for the season. Yeah, right. Wicked ass. Stand up and condemn. We need more our brothers to stand out and condemn that shit. Yeah, I want you to like another thing that I want to mention. Like how see our children is taught differently from uh the ways of Esau. When you don't uh speak a certain way, and when you don't speak a certain way, and when you like they say, oh, why did you do that? Oh, don't do that to the child. Don't do that. Don't do this and don't do that. Don't do this and don't do that. And this and that and the third. Like, you have to ask yourself the reason why our children is out. You can't walk around and just when it's time for discipline, call yourself just being nice. You got to at some point discipline your children, because the Bible tell you that. But America got everything turned around to where um, they don't want you to discipline your kids the right way. They want you to teach them to be soft. You can't do that. That's why we got a lot of, we come from these environments where the so-called white man tell us these things and put us in these environments and tell us that it's okay to be this way. It's okay to be a homosexual. It's okay to do all that kind of stuff. They exalt homosexuality, all that kind of stuff, man. They exalt all this stuff. They tell you it's okay to do all this stuff. And we living in a white man's world to where that's exactly what they teaching us, Yeah. They teach us is to be against each other. But I'm gonna come back and we're gonna talk a little bit more on that, and I'll see y'all later.